What's good people, and welcome to the Silly, Nerdy, Sometimes Wordy podcast. And I'm your host, BK. And this is episode 50, NFL Week 1, Night 2, a fan's breakdown of the Eagles versus Packers game from Brazil. And in this episode, I'm breaking down the second game of the NFL season, Philadelphia Eagles versus the Green Bay Packers, from my fans' perspective. And of course, unfortunately, the Jordan Love injury impact, some fantasy nuggets, and some nerdy notes from TV and streaming. Okay, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing very, very well. Glad to be back doing another episode, another game, focusing on the sports, a little bit of TV stuff. So with that, let's get right into the nerdy notes. And I have a few nerdy notes. This time we're talking some TV, the 911 franchise. We have the original 911 and 911 Lone Star. 911 Lone Star is finally coming back. Unfortunately, with the final season, this upcoming season 5, which is set to debut September 23rd, 2024, it will be its final season. Fox has confirmed it. Of course, a lot of the actors have been talking and posting on social media about how it's been great. And there was a leaked title card showing it the final season, but Fox has confirmed that this is going to be the final season, season 5. It will reportedly be 12 episodes. The finale will air in early January 2025. So sad to see 911 Lone Star come to an end. But also, per another report, Deadline, my other nerdy note, is there is another 911 franchise, possibly a show that's being talked about to be added to this 911 franchise. In the city that's being considered is Las Vegas. So it would be 911 Las Vegas. So we have our 911, the original one, which is set in LA, Los Angeles. And then we have 911 Lone Star, which is set in Austin, Texas, which is coming to an end. This third one would be set in the city of Las Vegas, per reports. Of course, nothing is confirmed, but apparently per this report from Deadline, Las Vegas is one of the cities that is being considered. So we'll see if that show gets into development and gets greenlit to be made. But yeah, and one more nerdy note. Let's go to the galaxy far, far away. Yes, I'm talking about some Star Wars. There are some reports out there that Lucasfilm, the studio that makes Star Wars under Disney, they are considering having their live action shows only have one show per year. For instance, in 2022, we had 3. So they are considering just doing that structure. I firmly disagree. I think they should do 2 shows per year. One show to start the year and the other show to end the year. That is my opinion. That's what I think they should do. But of course, they haven't had a lot of hits lately, because we know that they have recently not renewed the Acolyte for season 2. So they're just trying to take a step back and make sure they get good quality over quantity. But like I said, I hope they just do 2, one at the start of the year and one at the end of the year. But we'll see what Lucasfilm and Star Wars and the people over there decide. So okay, so that is all the nerdy notes I have. Let's get right into the main topic, which is this second game of the NFL season between the Philadelphia Eagles and my Green Bay Packers. Now, before I will get into this game, obviously, by the time you're listening to this, you're all aware of the Jordan Love injury. I'm going to talk about that towards the end of this. It's very unfortunate that this happened at the very end of the game. Thankfully, it doesn't appear to be season ending to this point. But like I said, I'll talk about this towards the end. I want to focus on the game first. Of course, this is the first game that was held in Sao Paulo, Brazil. First international game there. So the first thing, obviously, the field was not great. A lot of players slipping, and they were changing cleats. It seemed to get a little bit better as the game went on. Having to change their cleats early on as well as in the second half or at halftime. So that was not good, but that's all right. The environment seemed pretty amazing. Even the PA announcer within the stadium was overshadowing the play-by-play and analysts on the broadcast. They were overshadowing Noah Eagle and Todd Blackledge, which is quite funny. That's the fact that he was louder than the two of them, on the broadcast was it was interesting. A little nerdy note there, but okay. In terms of the game, let's focus on the Philadelphia Eagles. Jason Kelce, the center, he recently retired. You saw a little bit of the impact there with the center quarterback exchange, as well as the tush push. It was kind of 50-50 with that because they did convert some, so that is a work in progress. But it looks like they're going to be fine with that. That's going to be involving. It looks like they're going to be able to continue to use that, although I don't think they're going to have the high success rate that they had last season and previous seasons with Jason Kelce. Now that he is retired and he is in the media working with ESPN and doing this podcast with his brother and enjoying family time, well deserved for Jason Kelce. And also about the Philadelphia Eagles, of course, we have to talk about their free agent acquisition, the running back Saquon Barkley. Oof, boy, did he have a game. 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 1 receiving, over 100 scrimmage yards. Amazing for my fantasy teams, which I will get to later on. Not so good for the real team, so he had a great game. It could have been 4 touchdowns, actually. So Saquon is running behind the best offensive line that he's had. So he's got holes to run through. And I'm sure the owner of the Giants, John Mara, is not feeling too good like he should have been, with us. If you've seen Hard Knocks, he was really not wanting to lose Saquon, let alone to the Philadelphia Eagles. But that's what happened. And yeah, so Saquon was doing well. The offense overall seemed to struggle, but they seemed to kind of get it together. Though Jalen Hurts did throw the 2 interceptions, which was great because I'm a Packers fan, as you know. But he seemed to get it together. He rushed a couple times. He was able to get the ball to his targets. He spread it around to the receivers, to the running back, to the tight end. So work in progress with that offense. And yeah, so that's all I have to say pretty much for the Philadelphia Eagles. And also the Eagles were able to get good pressure on the Green Bay Packers defense. So the defense is also a work in progress. We'll see how they go along, because they got all those Georgia Bulldogs, and they need to really step it up in terms of the pass rush. And the corners, the secondary seemed they seemed to be coming along as well. So, but they were ultimately able to win the game 34-29. Although we had oh no, that was the Kansas City game. So yeah, they were ultimately able to win the game. So Eagles are looking good so far, but they have some things that they definitely need to clean up. Moving on to the Green Bay Packers, of course, I'll preface this by saying I am a Green Bay Packers fan and I have a share in the team. So I'm very biased, but I can also be objective as well. Obviously, they did not get the win. The injury happened, but starting off, the free agent acquisition, Xavier McKinney got an interception. Good to see that. Jair Alexander, he also got an interception. He could have had a second interception as well. But there were a lot of penalties going on early on in the game. The offensive line, man, that was it's not good to get those penalties. Also, there were penalties on the Philadelphia Eagles side as well because the offensive lineman, I think of his name, but he is a tackle, and he was the most penalized player last season, and he got a couple in this game too for the Philadelphia side. But a lot of penalties early on and throughout this game. Also, head coach Matt LaFleur used all of his timeouts before the end of the second quarter, and also notice he was really aggressive early on, going for it on fourth down multiple times, and didn't work out the majority of the time. So that was a interesting thing. But at the same time, we have a new kicker, a rookie kicker. He was solid. He didn't miss a kick. So we'll see how that goes. The offensive line could have been seemed to hold up a good bit, but then obviously the edge rushers did get through. So that's going to be evolving. It was good to see also the other free agent acquisition, Josh Jacobs. He was pretty solid too. He had a slow start in the first half, but he got going in the second half and got involved in the passing game a little bit. In terms of also the offense, Jordan Love, he was looking good. Obviously, you saw him slip, as well as other people were slipping as well. He almost threw an interception that should have been an interception. Thankfully, that didn't happen. In terms of the defense, I wanted to see more of a pass rush. Rashawn Gary was able to get through with a sack, but we need to have more of a pass rush moving forward, especially with Jordan Love being out for a couple weeks. We have this new defensive coordinator, but it's week one. Week one, you don't know what you have. So we'll see what happens moving forward. And, of course, you get back to the States with a better fielding in terms of the field and the grass. So definitely want to see a better pass rush from this Green Bay Packers defense. And, yeah, we had chances to win the game. Some conversions that could have been made. Penalties that got involved, and of course the turnovers. Jordan Love did throw one interception, so not converting in the red zone. So a lot of things to clean up, especially now with a new quarterback coming in. And yeah, all right. Lastly, let's talk about the fantasy impact here. Starting off with the Philadelphia Eagles, have quite a bit. I've had Saquon Barkley on a couple of teams. He had 24 carries for 109 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 catches for 23 yards, and 1 touchdown, 3 touchdowns overall. So that gave me 284 points on one league and 66.4 and 39.20 on 2 other leagues. A.J. Brown, 5 catches, 119 yards, 1 touchdown. In one league, he gave me 54.3 points. Devontae Smith, wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, 7 catches, 84 yards. Gave me 17.9 points in the Yahoo League. The kicker for the Eagles, Jake Elliott, he was 2 of 2 for his field goals and 4 of 4 with his extra points. Gave me 10 points there in one league. Defensively, Jalen Carter, the edge rusher that was put the hit on Jordan Love that ultimately gave him the injury. He had 2 tackles, 1 QB hit, gave me 1 point. From the Packers side, Jordan Love, he was 17 of 34, 260 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And he gave me 40 points in one league and 77 in another, 16.4 in another. Josh Jacobs, he was 16 of 84, 2 catches, 20 yards, gave me 14.4 in one league, 35.8 in another, and 12.4 in other leagues. So a lot of Josh Jacobs I have. And then the defense, had the Packers defense, they gave me 45 points. Had Kenny Clark, 2 total tackles, 1 solo, gave me 1.5. And Rashawn Gary, he had 1 sack, 2 QB hits, and 1 tackle, gave me 5 points. So that's the fantasy impact. Now, let's talk about the Jordan Love injury. This happened at the end of the game, and it was about 10 or 11 seconds left. He threw the pass, trying to avoid pressure, through to running back Josh Jacobs, or Jordan Reed, I believe, Jaden Reed, and that's when that happened. Late in the game, trying to get in position to get into the end zone. And the injury is reportedly a MCL sprain. And per Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, the NFL insiders for ESPN and NFL Media, respectively, the injury doesn't seem to be season ending, which is good news. They'll still have to do more testing to get it confirmed, but at least it's not season ending. And so a couple weeks, so some Schefter and Rappaport saying multiple weeks, so it could be 3 to 4 weeks. I've seen some reports saying it could be 3 to 6 weeks. And the next game is going to be week 2 versus the Indianapolis Colts. It's a home game. So of course, obviously he just signed that new contract extension, but the backup, let's talk about the quarterbacks that are on the roster. So the number 2 backup right now is Malik Willis. The other quarterback on the roster is Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford was there the entire season on last season. He was the backup. But Malik Willis, he just got to the Green Bay team. He just got there after the cuts were made, after the 53-man roster was established. So he is going to be the quarterback, presumably going forward for week 2 until Jordan Love can hopefully get back. And then Malik Willis comes over via trade last week from the Tennessee Titans. A little background on Malik Willis. He was drafted in the 3rd round in the 2022 NFL Draft, 86 overall, out of the University of Liberty. And per his career has been short, and it's not very good in terms of the stats and what he's done so far. I'm only going to speak on the passing, not on the rushing for Malik Willis. But in the 2022 season, he played 8 games, and he was 31 of 61 passes he completed, 31 passes for 276 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. His longest pass was 48 yards. In the 2023 season, he played in 3 games. In those 3 games, he started all 3 of those games. And he was 4 of 5, so completed 4 of 5 passes for 74 yards. His longest pass was also 48 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So the other quarterback, as I mentioned, is Sean Clifford, he was there last season. So Malik Willis is going to presumably be the starter for the next game. he just got there, like I said, last week. He literally just did his first press conference at his locker. And he doesn't have a lot of tape, NFL tape. And he's still learning the offense, learning players and the team. And so he's going to have to step in to see if he can lead this offense. And this is just going to be interesting. It's unfortunate. I don't like it. But that is the NFL. Injuries are a part of the game. And we'll just have to see how it goes. The Indianapolis Colts is going to be the next team, and the next couple games we got the Colts in week 2. We got the Titans, which would be interesting, playing against his old team. Titans in week 3, Minnesota, and then the Rams and the Cardinals. Those are the next couple games that the Packers have. So I'm thinking most likely the general manager of the Green Bay Packers, Brian Gutekunst, is going to be working the phones, possibly, to see if he can bring in another quarterback as well into the quarterback room. Because, yes, the potential timeline for this Jordan Love injury could be 3 to 4 weeks or 3 to 6 weeks, but you never know how long that's going to be. He could be on the shorter end of that. He could be on the longer end of that, maybe slightly beyond it. So it's a tough division that we're in already. So this is an opportunity for the Detroit Lions to really grab hold and get a strong lead in the division, possibly to the point where they would possibly just win this division because of this injury. And hopefully if Jordan Love comes back, then we can fight for a wild card. I mean, if we have to do that route, that's fine. If you remember back in the 2010-2011 season, that is how we won the Super Bowl. We were the wild card team. So it is possible. Wild card teams can win the Super Bowl. But great opportunity for the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings as well. And we'll see what the Chicago Bears do with Caleb Williams and that whole squad over there. But like I said, Malik Willis, he just got there last week. He hasn't even been in the building for 2 weeks, so barely 2 weeks. So very little NFL tape, and he's got some rushing ability, escapability for sure. He's not a statue back there, but he's still learning a new offense. He's been through multiple offensive coordinators, so he's been able to adapt. But we'll see how it goes. He'll get the full team. Obviously, he'll get all the reps, and they'll work together to see what they can do to attack the Colts offense. But speedy recovery for Jordan Love. I hate to see it, especially at the very end with a few seconds left, man. Gosh, man. Yeah. Okay. That's all I have for this episode. Came out a day later. Apologize for that, but thank you guys for listening. Please continue to listen. We're still on Spotify and Apple and Amazon. YouTube, we're on YouTube as well. So please check us out wherever you get your podcast. Download, subscribe, like, share, tell people about it. And that's all I have for you today. Hopefully I'll be able to come back and do the next standalone game, which will be the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday Night Football. The good guys at NBC. Hoping to cover that game. So that's all. And until next time, we will talk soon.